So today is Wednesday, January 30th. We were out of school yesterday, so today we are just starting reviewing how to do surface area. Guys, the other day, we talked about, and I know I've kind of taken this box apart now, but last week we did volume. The other day we were talking volume, which is basically what I call the inside of this thing, how much it holds in here. Now what we're doing, if you weren't here Monday, just trying to review real quick, we are finding the outside part, the actual box. So like, this is a tissue box that we literally cut to look like one of those shapes. When you're looking at the shapes, you gotta know which wall touches which wall. So like if I fold this up right here, you can see that these two would be touching. And that's where, like, we're just having to kind of take a minute and look at some of them today because they're not all the same. Look at this tissue box. Is the bottom, like, look at how wide that is. Is that the same as the side? No. But it, like, so the numbers might be different in different places. So what I've done here is it's kind of like I got one kind of easier one and then one kind of harder one on each one of these shapes. Okay, so we're going to kind of talk about it. Really, there's no other new stuff for Friday's test. To be honest, it's volume, and it is this stuff. It's, you know, it's all that's on it. So, now, we're going to take one shape at a time. This is kind of like math workshop today. We're just kind of taking it slow and easy. Okay, so we're starting with this shape. I personally start with what I call the easiest shapes, meaning I start with the rectangle in the middle, or I start with this middle line. I see that this one is 12, so all these are 12, okay? Now, it is up to you how much drawing you do on your shape. So, you can write 12 on it, you don't have to, whatever it takes, okay? Now, looking at each rectangle, I'm going to start with just the top rectangle. I see that this one is a 12 by 6, so right there. So, if I go over here, and I'm going to do the formula, you have to write the formula for a rectangle, which is base times height. We're finding the base and the height, or either one, but I'd say base is 12, height is 6, leaving you with 72 inches squared. Now that means this shape is 72. Okay, now you kind of have to look around. You can't assume they're all 72. We got to kind of prove they're 72, I guess. So starting out, if you will kind of look right here where this 6 was, what is this wall? 6, because if you folded them up, they would touch each other, okay? Now, if this is 6, we know that straight across from it is also 6, okay? Is everybody seeing how I'm kind of doing this? Now I'm going to wiggle down to this one. This one touches that one, so it would be 6. Okay. Now, looking at this shape, and this is where some of you need to kind of slow down because it'll be different here in a minute. As you look at this line, look all the way across and make sure there are no other numbers listed. If there's not, then we know it is what? 6 by 6, right? We know that this is a 6. You kind of have to, like, just make sure you see, okay, this thing must be a square. It is 6. This is 6. And all that 6. It's kind of odd, but, you know, you're just kind of, it's like a puzzle. You're kind of putting it together. Okay. And then when I fold it up, if this one is 6, and this one's 6, and that one's 6, the last one's got to be 6. Plus they touch. It's kind of hard to see, but when you fold it up, that part ends up touching that part. Okay, now, here we go. Look at the numbers. Let's do the little box. The little box is a 6 by 6. Does everybody agree? I'm going to do the little formula, base times height. 6 times 6. 36 inches squared. Okay. And these are going to be the yellow ones. I know it's kind of goofy, but you don't have to highlight. It's just kind of my way of saying that number belongs with that box. Now, if that flap's 36, we know this flap is 36. Okay. Okay. Now, let's look at this middle box. Okay. And this was a trick we were talking about in my last class or earlier today. If this flips you out to see this many numbers and this many shapes, and you're like, I don't get this, take something and cover up the rest of it. And if you need to cover it up even more than that, I know it's kind of silly, but now do you see that it's a rectangle and the two numbers you're working with are 6 and 12? If that helps you do it, I don't know it, it doesn't matter. So 6 times 12 is 72, and since I've already got the math, I look right here, 6 times 12, 72, and a 6 times 12 is 72. Now, okay, I don't know who was absent Monday, so I'm just going to say it. What we're trying to find in the end is called surface area. That's what that SA stands for. Surface area. So all the surface of it put all together. So in the end, to find this, we have to add up all the numbers. And you got 360, yes. So it is 360. I look back and it's inches, and it is squared because it is area. And the figure is a rectangular prism. Good. Okay. So that's kind of the easier one, because you can see the numbers down the middle are all the same. Okay. Is everybody good with that one? Because now it gets a little different. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay. Let's look at this one. Give me a second to kind of make it where y'all can see it. Okay. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Now, each box, you've got to slow down on this one because it's kind of odd. Okay. I bet we all see that this one's 8. And so all these, do we all see that those are 8?
Yes.
Everybody's good. Okay. I'm going to go in and put little 8s because I'm kind of silly like that. Okay. But now, I guess you'd say I need some of the other measurements. If I start down here, I see that this line right here is 4.3. So doesn't that mean that that one's 4.3 and that one's 4.3? Okay. So I can kind of think, okay, this is 4.3. You could do that one too. Okay, now let's look at this number. This number is 1.3. When we fold it, what does it touch? The one above it? Like, do y'all see how when you fold the corner they touch? Okay, so that means that this one is 1.3. Does everybody see how I did that? Okay, but I want you to think about it. Go across from it. Go down. What is this one? 1.3. Because I just went straight down. But what is that one?
1.3. So you kind of have to like, you got to slide these numbers around or move them around. Now, last part. If this one's in flap is 4.3 down here, what do you think that is? 4.3. So you got to kind of like, we know the tissue box isn't like all like crushed and crookedy and stuff. This one is also 4.3. And it goes back to the way it's folded and when those opposite sides touch. Is this the one I did? So like, here's the first, this corner right here, that one and that one, the 1.3 is touching. Look, I labeled it right here on the box, and when you fold it, it touches. That's why they're the same length from there to there. Slowly, as you roll it around, you can tell that this one is the same as that one. And then you keep going. It's, I don't know, it's just, for some people it's easy to see, and for some of us it's a lot harder. Okay, so let's do one box at a time. Here we go. Let's start with the top one. This one should be a 8 times what? 1.3. You got it, which is 10.4. Okay. Now, which other one has those measurements? That one. Do you see how it's still an 8, but that wall is a 1.3? It's kind of like every other wall now. It's weird. So it is, this one is also a 10.4. Okay. Now I'm going to do this box. It is an 8 times 4.3. And I know for some of you guys, you get it, and you know I'm going too slow, but for some of us, this is just harder than others. 34.4 inches squared. Okay. That one, I'll do in purple. I don't know. Okay. Now, you see how this one and that one are the same? Okay. Good so far? Okay, and on the last box, on the little flaps, I see that it is a 1.3 times 4.3. So I'm just going to do it over here. .59 inches squared. Okay. Okay. Whew. And I'll admit, like, it just, I've done this 4 other times today, and it still takes me a little thinking to kind of get it. Okay. So there's the shapes, there's my colors, all that good stuff. Surface area means do what? Add them all up. Add them all up. And it's up to you what pattern or how you want to do it. I've done that. Like, for some reason, my calculator and I are not agreeing. Plus. So I got that times 2. Okay. What'd you get? Yes, and you guys who are putting it in the calculator, you will, because you are doing it, you will remember later this week what to do. You're adding up all those numbers. Okay. Shape is the same shape, it's just made a little different. Rectangular prism. And listen, every teacher teaches this different. I use a lot of colors. Miss Sawyer's over there, she numbered every shape. So like she calls this number 1 and she has the work over here for number 1. This is number 2, she has the work for number 2. It doesn't matter, it means the same thing. I just personally thought if I started numbering them, it was going to be a whole nother number on the page and it might get you confused. So, okay, so is everybody good on rectangular prisms? To be honest, that's as hard as the rectangular prisms get. Okay, so that's good. We're kind of, good. Okay, triangular prisms. Look at the two that are at the bottom. You can kind of see, I mean, they're both triangles on the end. One is more perfect. One is more catty-cornery, weird looking. Okay. We'll start with this one. Yes.
Wait, I'll just wait for the next one.
Okay. So, let's do this one. I hate to say I'm doing the easy ones first, but I am. Let's see. And it is a what shape? Triangular prism, because prisms are flat. Okay, here we go. So I look at the wall. The first wall is a 12, and I know that all these would be the same. I'll just keep writing it down this way. Okay. The next one is something I talked about on Monday, so if you were absent, you really want to listen. We talked about this little dashy line, and that dash line means whatever that measurement is, wherever you see these other lines, they're all going to be the same. So if that one's 10, we know this one is 10. Okay, and if that one's 10, we know it would touch that one and be 10. And then same thing on the other corner, or the other end, that would touch that. So that's not too bad right there. Okay, so let's do the rectangle. Just a big fat rectangle in the middle. It is base times height, 10 times 12, which is 120 inches squared. Okay. Now, go over here and put 120. Okay. Whew. Now I gotta do the triangles. What is the base of the triangle? Now remember, our base and our height need to be at a 90. So once you think about it, I bet you already know the height. The height is what? 2.5. Like, that's the height. So what is this thing? 10. You got it. Slide that number up there, guys. That is a 10. Okay. Now, you see how I split it up? Everybody good? Okay. Now, think about the formula for a triangle, though. Base times height divided by 2. That's the one thing that a lot of people forget. Okay. Base is 10, height is 2.5. So I got 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. Okay. Ooh. Okay, now each triangle is 12.5. You could even draw a triangle around it if you want or something. I don't care. But each triangle is 12.5. I'm just having trouble fitting my numbers inside this thing. Okay. So in the end, we're going to add them all up. Whoops. Not if you don't put it in the calculator, right? $385. Is that what you got? Where am I at? Inches squared. I was trying to read that. Listen, and I'm not trying to be mean. I've said this in every class. Listen, when we grade these things, I realized that the last test we took, we graded it basically until you made a really good grade. We tried. Okay? This Friday's test, I mean, it's kind of like you're going to do it, and I'm going to go grade it. Like, it's not going to be don't make 100 unless you make 100. So, what you think about this? I haven't seen it really in this class, thank goodness. Maybe because I'm recording or something. I don't know. You don't want to not write all that. I need to see the formula and all the work and all that. To be honest, this is probably like 4 points, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this rectangle formula work would probably be another 3 or 4 points. Then that might only be 2 points. Like that surface area might be worth less than that. Like make sure you have it all. If you at least give me this, but let's say you mess up on the triangles. You tell me that the triangles are 25 each. Well, why did you tell me the triangles are 25 each? Because what did you do?
Because you didn't split that.
You didn't what?
Divide
by 2. So one little step you missed, right? So maybe I can take off -2 instead of going, you know what, -5, -2 more. So if you show that work, I can try to get you more partial credit. But I got a few of you guys, like maybe not this class, but other classes that are not showing all the work. If you don't show this work right there, I think it's a 92 just because you didn't show work. Like you missed probably 4 points each. So that'd be 8 points. Don't do it on test day, please. Okay, here we go. Last one. I like this one. The challenge finally kicks in. Okay. It is still a triangular prism, but it's just a little different. It's kind of sideways, okay? Now, does everybody see how I'm getting that number based on 19? Okay. Does everybody see that one? Just bringing the 19 up. Okay. Now, I'm going to do like just one chunk at a time. I don't know how else to do this. Okay, so I want you to look at this box. We've got the number 19, and right here we've got the number 14. So this one we can do because it's just 19 times 14. That one's not too bad. So we'll go over here. A equals base times height. $266. Okay, so this one is 266. Okay, now, sorry, this is bothering me. That's not colored in all the way. Okay, the next one, we kind of have to slow down and look at it. Look at this wall and this wall. This one is 19, but what is this one? 13. So this middle triangle is a 19 by 13. I mean, not triangle, sorry, rectangle. Base times height. It is a 19 by 13. That's why we can't assume everything's the same. 247. Whoops, messed that up. 247 feet squared. Interesting. Everybody good so far? Okay. Here's where the weirdness comes in. Okay. We get on this one that it's 19, but I need this wall. What touches that wall? 15, yes, this thing. That would fold around and touch that wall. So that makes that box a 19 by 15. Okay, make sure you go over and kind of put the work. Okay. Alright. Last thing we need is the ugly triangle. I'm running out of colors. Oh, here we go. Okay. I was looking for the orange. Okay. Triangles. I need you to kind of think about it. Base and a height. Shh. Look up here. The base and the height have to be on a 90 degree. They have to be where that right angle is. And that's going to change everything on this triangle. My base is right here, which is what? 13. The only number I can use is whatever that wall is for the height, because it's got to be right there on that 90. What is that wall? 14. That number is going to roll up and touch that wall. So these triangles are basically 13 times 14 divided by 2. Which is 182 divided by 2, 91 feet squared. Okay, so this one is 91. This one is 91. What'd y'all get?
91.
Wait a minute, 91 for the triangles. And then the surface area, if you add them all up, 980 feet squared. Good. I ran out of room right there, so just kind of doing that. It's just a lot of work. If you know the rectangle and the triangle formulas, you will be fine. Be fine, fine, fine. I don't think there's anything else. Okay, so this is the plan. I'm going to go ahead and give you classwork homework. You have a lot of time in 7th period now to work on this thing. Keep working on it. I am going to talk about a couple of them that you're going to want to write a note to yourself about. Good stop? Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes, they're going to do this for homework. Most classes have had 5 to 10 minutes in class to do this. 2 of them are very short and sweet that they shouldn't take you but just a few minutes. And then I'll admit there's the 4. 2 are challenging, 2 are kind of easy. It's going to matter how well you use your time in class or how much homework you have. Here we go. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you. Okay. So let me point you out a few things. It's not hard. Starting out, this is the classwork homework for Wednesday night. Okay. The very first one, we go back to cute little boxes. But I'm going to be honest. I don't want you to sit here and count boxes all day. Think about it. Like, when we find a square or a rectangle, we know it's base times height. Listen, count however many boxes it is going across. Does that make sense? Count how many are going down. And then make sure that, like, it is the same all the way around to do the math. Nothing changes. It's just cute boxes. That's all. Okay. The other one is this. Now, let me go back. What shape is that?
Square.
All those shapes, though. Together are a cube. Okay, a cube. Because in a minute, you'll figure out they're all 5 by 5. Okay. Look at this. Do not walk in without this done tomorrow. Flip it over to number 6. Because all it is reading it. A gift box is in the shape of a cube with 20 centimeter sides. Calculate its surface area. So listen, even if, like, I can't really do this in my head. I got to kind of draw it. It does not have to be pretty, perfect, beautiful, whatever. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. You could put these little flaps wherever you want. And you don't even have to draw it if you can get the answer. But what's happening is a lot of you guys are thinking it's 20 times 6. But I need you to think about it. Each side is 20. So this side is 20. And this side is 20. And this side is 20. And this side is 20. Like, and I'm going to leave you hanging with that. But you got to kind of think, oh, it's not 20 times 6. You kind of have to think about all those numbers. Okay? You good? So go for it. Work on it. Finish it. Tomorrow I will be checking for this because I'm not sending out an answer key tonight. I need you to try it. See what we can get them right or wrong, or what we need to do. Okay? Thank you, thank you. And don't forget yearbook money if anybody's wanting to bring yearbook money. $35. Bring it to me.